Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Young people. They're obviously precious, you know? Without young people, there's no next generation. You know, the world needs young people. But what the world really needs is an informed, put-together, responsible group of young people to grab the reins and move society forward. And in today's day and age, it's a real struggle. The simple fact is, I think we're failing the next generation. I think we're failing these young people. As a society, they've been too coddled. You know, baby boomers and Gen Xers, I think, had it a little bit too easy. We saw this new style of parenting emerge that has created such spoiled, coddled, little arrogant brats who think they know everything. Every Gen Zer and young millennial that you speak to is an expert on everything, knows everything, understands all the complex issues facing the nation, facing the world, has the answer to everything, and if you disagree with them, well then you're just a backwards bigot, a fossil who doesn't know and doesn't understand. And that's on you, baby boomers, that's on you, Gen Xers. It's hitting disastrous levels. The kids are out of control, and unfortunately it seems like the kids are increasingly in control. And I guess in a way the point of this video is to prove that, well, that's probably a bad thing. These kids know nothing. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, we got another one of these videos. A lot of activism from these young kids these days, and a whole lot of brain scratching. I have no idea what the hell I'm listening to as a basic reaction.
There's so much hate in the world. There's so much hate in the world right now, and I'm so done with it. And pride just means that we are unabashedly happy just to be alive.
Yeah. And where do you personally feel that hate is coming from?
Most places, but especially the government.
And in your own life, where would you say that you feel the hate the most?
I feel like I kind of internalize a lot of the hate, so it feels like it mostly comes from myself at this point.
You know, these kids have been told from a very young age that their opinions matter, that they know and they understand, and they need to take to the streets when they have an issue, that they need to change the world. You know, it's an era of activism, but it's so incredibly vapid. I mean, this modern world that we live in, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn close in a lot of ways. You know, there's pockets of, let's call it, unfortunate situations, but for the most part, walk around, go outside. Beautiful cities, villages, streets, people, families. We got a good thing going. But if you listen to these kids, it's almost as if the moment you step out of your house, the moment you step on your doorstep, based on their worldview and their perception, it's like a Mad Max world out there. Fascism at every frickin' turn. It's completely insane. And the most frustrating part for people living in, well, reality, is that when you ask these kids, well, please define this, major dilemma that you're so adamant is so important and such a grave threat, the response is incoherent at best, absolute sheer incoherent nonsense at worst. Please define your worldview. Define where this hate comes from. The government. What does that mean? Please explain where this hate is coming from, and then holy moly, probably one of the greatest moments of self-realization I've ever witnessed. A lot of it comes from a feeling of self-hatred. You think? I've been saying it forever, folks. Projection, projection, projection. You know, the young person worldview seems to come from a personal feeling of self-loathing. In some cases, you could say jealousy, sometimes feelings of insecurity or inferiority, creating this feeling of misery that then's projected on the world. And the problem with these kids is that all of these negative feelings, which are perfectly normal and human, where in the past you'd be told, toughen up, tough luck, life's tough, figure it out, battle through it, develop a strong identity and become powerful, emotionally and intellectually powerful. I mean, that's the answer. Instead of telling kids that, what we've done for the last 2 generations or so is coddle these emotions, justify these emotions, emphasize them, enable and validate these emotions. We've emboldened a bunch of young kids to be victims, to be professional activists, to blame everybody but themselves, to delve into this feeling of self-loathing and wear it as an identity. We've created these entitled little self-righteous monsters. There's no other way to say it. There's no nice way to say it either. These know-it-all kids kids who are just making it up as they go, operating on this extreme level of self-righteous indignation, and it's gotten to a point where they've convinced themselves that they're fighting this great big evil boogeyman, which they can't even define.
But especially the government.
And that's how we get to where we are today in Clown World 2023, where the prevailing opinion, the prevailing stance from young people is that certain unapproved speech should be criminal.
So many of the stereotypes about millennials are almost as lazy as some of them are. They like avocados on toast. They take photos of avocados on toast. Bad tattoos, skinny jeans, dating apps, cats, you get the picture. And censorship, of course. Like a lot of stereotypes, they begin life with a kernel of truth. A major survey in the US found that a plurality of people aged 25 to 34 now think using the wrong pronouns should be a criminal offence. Almost half of them think you should be prosecuted for saying he instead of she, if that he is becoming a she, or if he or she just wants to be they, or thinks they should be a she, he, they, or something like a cat. You could be forgiven for being as confused about this as some of them are.
You hear the same thing over and over again. Either people should be fined, locked up, or one of the worst opinions I keep hearing, you should be sent for re-education. These young people aren't learning. They're not learning about history. They're not learning about the importance of free speech. They're not learning about where these sort of Orwellian, authoritarian, ideological enforcement, where it leads. They don't realize what a re-education camp means. They don't realize what it is to concentrate authoritarian power within the hands of a few on something so important like ideas, speech, opinions. We've let these kids down, man. The education system has become a shell of its former self. It's become a scam. We're not teaching real history. We're not teaching real critical thought. What's being taught is cult-like dogmatic ideology. We're telling these kids that they know everything, they have the answers, and to go out there and to get the job done. Little activist culture warriors, not emotionally stable, contributing adult members of society. And it takes me to the idea of voting. These people vote. I find that frustrating. You hear this voting rights, access to voting, yada, yada, yada. It sounds nice in theory, but it makes no sense. Without a basic understanding of government, policy, economics, foreign policy, without relevant job experience, I personally believe you're simply not qualified to participate in the process. Call me crazy. People think I'm crazy when I say this, but I'm going to maintain this stance probably to my deathbed. I think voting should be a privilege. I think you should be 21 years or older. You should maybe have 3 to 5 years of stable employment and a history of paying taxes and good credit and no criminal record. I mean, no criminal record. Call it a crazy extreme idea. I don't think it's so crazy. Maybe the most competent, well put together people, the most responsible people, the people who know how to put together a house, know how to put together a life, maybe those are the people who should be running the decisions. Maybe those are the people who should have an input into how government is ran, because essentially the house is a microcosm of the government and greater society as a whole. I don't know, call me crazy, but somebody who can't immediately define basic ideas pertaining to their worldview probably shouldn't be telling us how terrible we are and how to live our lives. Anyways, that's my view. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. These kids are crazy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.